Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at an interesting topic. We're not actually looking at anything. We're going to be discussing something kind of interesting. With E3 literally right around the corner and Capcom all but confirming Resident Evil 7 is on the way, I would like you guys to tell me some of your hopes and dreams for Resident Evil. Now I'm going to go on record here and talking about Resident Evil, a little bit about my past with the series. I've done all kinds of videos on this. You know I'm a big fan of the series. However, something happened after the release of Resident Evil 4. Now I am not one of these guys that praises Resident Evil 4 up the yin-yang like I know a lot of you do, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm also not one of these guys that says that was like what killed the series. Because a lot of people... Resident Evil 4 was such a strange game in the sense that there's so many people that look at it like it revolutionized action games, let's say. And then you have the other camp that are like, that was the beginning of the end for the series. And I'm somewhere in between both of these. I completely respect what Resident Evil 4 did for the action genre, or let's say like the survival horror genre as a whole, okay? I get it. I'm not like oblivious to everything that the game did. But by the same token, it never resonated with me as well as the earlier titles. Steven's been bothering me for years to go back and play Resident Evil 4, and when I was in my other apartment, I actually did. I actually started playing Resident Evil 4 again, and I was really getting into it, but the feeling still wasn't there. It wasn't exactly the same as I had with the earlier games. Now that's not a negative thing, it was different. Resident Evil 5, I'm not ashamed to say, I did not like. I didn't like it. I did not like the idea that you were with a co-op character because you're not alone. And Resident Evil, much like Metroid, it's that feeling of isolation that really makes Resident Evil what it is. Exactly like Metroid. When you are alone on a distant planet, even if it's not meant to be creepy, it is. Because you know that you are by yourself. It's just you. You don't really know what's going on in that corner of the world. And Resident Evil shared a lot of those similar feelings, at least for me. Except obviously taken to the next level because it was meant to be creepy. It was meant to be a horror game. But Resident Evil 5 just destroyed that. Resident Evil 6, Steven and I had started a Let's Play of that, and it wasn't resonating with me whatsoever. Like, whatsoever. Steven was slowly starting to get into it, but me, I really, whatever. I could care less. So basically, you've got Resident Evil 5 and 6 that really threw me out. Like, I don't even care about those games. Resident Evil 4, I do, though. I really do. That is one that I want to go back and give more, like, additional chances to win me over. I finished that one. I finished all of the other Resident Evil games prior to that, but 5 and 6, I don't think I've ever finished either one of those. I may have finished 5. I know I haven't finished 6. But no, I have no desire to go and play Resident Evil 5 and 6 through... I'm pretty sure actually I did play 5 through to completion with a buddy of mine, yeah. So it would be 6. I really don't have the desire to go ahead and do that. And even 5, like to go back and replay it, I could care less. A Resident Evil Remake, which was released, what was it, 2 years ago or something like that, on PS3 and Xbox 360, and now that's going to be coming out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and Steam and everything else. I played through a bit of the remake. I mean, I reviewed it, but I don't know, it reminds me so much of what I loved of Resident Evil. The Resident Evil Remake, Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil Code Veronica even, those games were genuinely creepy, man, and I love the setup of them. Even Resident Evil Revelations, the first one, believe it or not, I haven't even played Revelations 2. That goes to show you how far removed I am from the Resident Evil series, for real. Because I don't know what it is. It's like, they left such a bad taste in my mouth, Resident Evil 5 and 6, that even though I had so much fun even playing with, Steve and I played through Resident Evil Revelations on the 3DS, I don't know why, I haven't had the desire to go and play Revelations 2. Should I? You let me know. As a hardcore Resident Evil fan of the original style games, should I go and play Resident Evil Revelations 2? And if so, on what platform? You tell me, okay? And then, and now we can talk about the main topic here. So what would you like to see with Resident Evil 7? For me, I think I'm at the point now where I don't know. A lot of people have been saying, oh, maybe we should do like a total reboot of the franchise. But the fact that they're remaking Resident Evil 2, which that I'm excited for. Man, I can't wait for that. That's going to be sick. And also, Resident Evil Remake just came out, you know, not too long ago, the remastered version. Do we really want to have another remake going back to the Spencer Mansion? I'm not entirely sure. But then part of me starts thinking, you know, the PT demo, which I still have on my PlayStation 4, that was really creepy. And part of me is like, you know, could we go back to the Spencer Mansion or something else like that? Get rid of all the fluff. So none of this ridiculous story with all these different viruses and all this government conspiracies and blah, 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 blah. No, go back to the original thing. There's been an incident. And it's up to the player to slowly unravel what the hell is going on. But I picture this thing where I'm like, well, we got the PT demo. What if they incorporated certain elements of that into another Resident Evil game to really bring it back? No co-op. Single player, you're isolated, you're alone, you have limited ammo. I've been thinking of things like maybe you could use like a computer or like a cell phone or something like that to save your game. And this has been done in other games to great success. Some of the Saturn games that I've reviewed actually use some of these mechanics in them. Like, could you imagine, let's say you save through your laptop, okay? Something like that. And wherever you are in the game, your battery is slowly running out, okay? So you could go to, say, a safe room, and in the safe room, when you saved your game, 5% of the battery would be depleted, something like that. But to make it a little bit more modern, let's say, you could save anywhere you wanted. However, doing so comes at a penalty where you can't plug in your computer. And let's say that they add this into the story that the computer's battery is a little bit faulty. So it's losing charge perpetually every time you use the computer. So, for example, even if you plugged it in, there's something faulty with the battery, but you can plug it in at safe rooms and 5% of the battery is depleted every time you save. Loading, there would be no penalty to that because I find that a little bit too harsh. But let's say you wanted to save outside in the main hallway or something like that. Well, that takes 10%. And I'm making up these percentages, of course. But making it so that saving is stressful because you're like, oh crap, like, can I make it to that next safe room without dying? I don't want to redo my whole game or whatever. That is brilliant. It's what the ink ribbons originally had, but I like to think of it more put it in a more modern sort of setting. Like the ink ribbon thing was always kind of weird. But I like that. I like the fact that you had two. That's it. You don't know if you're ever going to find any more. So do you save right there? Or do you go, oh shit, let's go and explore a little bit more, and maybe I can find another typewriter. Oh yeah, okay, good, I just found one, great, I'm going to save, it's been an hour and a half, something like that. That stress is always on your mind. It makes every encounter that much more terrifying because you don't know where the next save point is. And it's the same thing with all the ammunition. That's what really hurt all of the Resident Evils I found. After Resident Evil 4 was just, it was an action game. You had unlimited ammo, just like shoot everything and move on. That's not scary. That's not interesting. That's boring. Knowing that I've got a clip, I've got one clip 12 bullets in that son of a bee, and that's it. And I can save X number of times, and that's it. You know? Things like that really heighten the stress. And if you were to somehow incorporate those PT elements, potentially, into that sort of already stressful setting, I think you could really have something special. And I'm really hoping that that's what they do. That they just carry forward the Resident Evil name. A lot of people have been saying, oh, you know, like have Leon, have Chris, have Claire. I don't even care about that anymore. You could have a character totally different, Bob Smith. Who cares? For me, it's just carry the name over and just redo all the story, just everything. Just restart, in essence. We're going to have Resident Evil 2 Remake, which I hope we see, by the way, as like a trailer or a teaser or something. It would be awesome. But like have that to cater to those fans like myself. But if you want to usher in a whole new generation, I really think it's time that they reset the franchise and start something completely different. And just carry forward that name and leave it alone. Like, that's it. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but this is a community question. So what would you like to see from Resident Evil 7? Go ahead, leave a comment, and let me know. And let's talk about this incredible series, and let's see who's right. What happens in a few weeks when Capcom surely announces the next Resident Evil in the mainline series, and let's see how close we are. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a comment below because I really want to get a conversation on this fantastic series. And that's it. And I'll see you later on in the week with another community question.